died on a Tuesday. I didn't cry right away. I wrapped him in a towel and buried him behind the flat because it felt wrong to leave him inside once he stopped being warm. I didn't dig very deep. The ground was hard, and I kept telling myself he wouldn't mind. That night, I dreamed I heard him scratching, not loud, not desperate, just patient. When I woke up, the sound was still there, faint, steady, coming from the hallway. I opened my bedroom door. Nothing, but his food bowl was empty. I stood there for a long time, trying to remember if I'd filled it out of habit, trying to convince myself grief does strange things to memory. That night, the scratching moved closer, under the bed, behind the wardrobe, always somewhere I couldn't see. I started talking to the empty room, apologizing, explaining, promising I hadn't meant to rush. The purring started a few nights later, soft, broken, like it was being remembered instead of made. The mattress dipped gently beside me. I didn't move. I didn't breathe. I let myself believe he was there, because believing was easier than being alone. The smell of damp earth followed after that. Fresh soil tracked across the floor every morning, leading from the front door to my bed. I cleaned it every day. One night, I finally whispered, "I'm sorry I left you." The purring stopped. For a moment, I thought he was gone for good. Then I felt a familiar weight settle against my chest, lighter than I remembered, weaker, not asking for comfort, asking for warmth. I held him until the sound faded completely. The next morning, the dirt was gone, so was the scratching. I went outside and dug where I'd buried him. The grave was empty. I don't hear him anymore, but sometimes when I lie very still, I feel the mattress dip just slightly, like something checking if I'm still there. And I stay awake, because I know now he didn't come back to haunt me. He came back because I was the last place he ever felt safe. Not everything that comes back wants revenge. Some just don't know where else to go. I adopted a new cat 3 months after the scratching stopped. I told myself the house felt empty again, that whatever had been there had finally moved on. The shelter warned me he was nervous, didn't like other animals, needed patience. I promised him a quiet home. The first night, he refused to go near my bedroom. He stood in the hallway, back arched, staring at the closed door like something was breathing on the other side. I laughed it off. That night, I heard the scratching again, not outside the door, inside the walls. Slow, deliberate, like it knew exactly where we were. The new cat hissed, low and terrified, and pressed himself into the corner of the living room. I held him until he stopped shaking. By morning, his water bowl was empty, bone dry. I started finding paw prints that weren't his. Too many toes, too close together, always leading toward my bedroom. The new cat stopped eating, stopped sleeping. He'd sit upright for hours, staring into empty spaces, tracking something that moved when I didn't. One night, I woke to purring. Not the new cat's. This one was softer, older, broken in the same way it had been before. The new cat screamed, a sound I didn't know cats could make. By the time I reached the living room, he was hiding under the table, eyes locked on the ceiling. Something moved above us, slow, crawling. The scratching came from everywhere at once. Then it stopped. So did the screaming. In the morning, the new cat was lying beside his food bowl, cold, no marks, no blood, just his eyes wide open, fixed on the bedroom doorway. I buried him deeper than the first. I didn't sleep that night. The scratching returned, louder now, closer, confident. I whispered into the dark, "Please." The purring answered, satisfied. That's when I understood. He didn't come back because I loved him. He came back because I replaced him. And every time I try again, he makes sure I remember who was here first.
I thought the scratching stopped because he finally forgave me. That's what I told myself after the grave stayed quiet and the house felt empty again. I was wrong. What really stopped was him trying to get back in. I was already letting him stay. It started small. I began sleeping on my side of the bed again, the side he used to curl up on. I didn't remember deciding to move back there. It just felt correct. Sometimes he explained himself in my head, not with words, with feelings, comfort, familiarity, possession. I stopped closing the bedroom door. One night I woke up kneeling on the floor where I'd buried him, hands in the dirt, digging. I don't remember leaving the house. I don't remember opening the grave, but my fingernails were split and the hole was deeper than before. I didn't fill it back in. After that, the house changed. The scratching didn't come from the walls. It came from inside the floor beneath me, directly under where I stood, where I slept, where I waited. I started leaving food out again, not for a new cat, for him. Every morning the bowl was empty. I never questioned how. Neighbors complained next. They said something was pacing at night, not fast, not angry, just circling the same rooms over and over again. They asked if I'd gotten another cat. I told them no. That night, I finally understood the sound I'd been hearing in my sleep. It wasn't scratching, it was kneading. I caught my reflection in the window once, standing perfectly still, head tilted, listening to something beneath the floorboards. My mouth moved. I was whispering apologies, promising I wouldn't leave again. The last thing I remember clearly was lying down on the bedroom floor, not the bed, the floor, pressing my ear to the spot where I buried him, listening for movement, for breathing, for anything that meant he wasn't alone. When I woke up, the grave behind the flat was gone, not empty, gone. The dirt was smooth, untouched, like nothing had ever been buried there. The scratching hasn't come back since, neither has the purring. Because he doesn't need to. He isn't trapped outside anymore. He's learned how to stay. And I finally learned what he was trying to teach me from the beginning. If you don't let the dead rest, they'll teach you how.